Well, good afternoon, everybody. I frown at public speaking when there is a long distance between me and the people I speak to. Because I have found in the work that I do that the space between us is where all our dreams die. Hello? Did you hear that? This is the problem with life. This space, where I'm standing and where you are sitting, and this space is what the problem in life is. As an actor, life for me is about spaces, audience, and distance. So usually, I would love to step out of this place and calm down. Can I? Thank you. Okay, now this is better. As a performer in Africa, we perform in villages or in the square or in the marketplace and all of that. And usually, we are usually amongst the people when we perform. So we can touch, we can feel, we can say, hey, if I say, hey, you say, ah, so we can feel ourselves. Now, that is how we know how to stay together. That is how we know how to function. But when the Western education teaches me how to be an actor, he puts me on a stage that has a distance between me and the audience. And most times, when you try to communicate from that stage that the European model puts you, especially when you are an African speaking to Africans, you lose communication. And so every time I have a chance to be able to speak to my people, I love to be able to step out of the proscenium and come into the round. Okay? Now, does the world need people who are funny? It does? So the world needs people like Chi-Girl, right? So the world needs people like King Tonto, right? Which means that the world also needs people like me. Good. Now, what makes King Tonto who she is? What is it about King Tonto that when she steps onto a room, the atmosphere of the room changes? Why is that? Eh? Sorry? Aura. Her personality. How did she build that personality? What is inside that personality? Do you have that personality? You have your own personality. So how does one even begin to build a personality that becomes enduring with his or her audience? That is what relevance is. Look, I have studied, made notes and all of that, but today I want to speak to you from my heart and say to you, just like Dr. Abubakar, the MD of Sterling Bank, that maybe my personal journey is what will speak to you today. And in the process of telling you what I did when I started and where I am today, we will probably find some connection as to how to remain relevant in whatever it is that you do. Because when people ask me how, oh, by the way, when people say I have been relevant for so long, it means that I finished university after learning how to do theater and be an actor in 1983. So I did youth service between 1983 and 84. And so you can say that professionally, I have been acting since 1984, which is to say, this is 41 years of doing this business. But that is not what is important. It's the fact that 41 years of doing this business, some of you were not even born when I started. But you were born, you came to become an adult, you heard from your parents or your older friends about me, you have seen me, and now you are with me, but you still like me, right? Good. So, what is it that I have been doing for 41 years that will make me enter a room where there is a 25-year-old, there is a 46-year-old, there is a 65-year-old, and they can all relate to me? Is that not what you're asking me to tell you? Yeah, so I don't want to go into the books and tell you it's about learning, it's about adapting, it's about reinventing yourself, it's about... Yes, it is about all of that. But do you know what the most important one is? I have found out is that you must always come from a place of truth. I'll say that again. The secret to being relevant in whatever circle or space that you call your world is about your audience seeing your heart and knowing that every time that you open your mouth to do anything with them that they have to approve or disapprove, they can see your truth. As an actor, they teach you in school. They teach you there are different types of acting. There's method acting, there's personality acting, there's this acting. I found out that in all of that, welcome. I found out that in all of those different styles that they are teaching you, the most important thing is that you come from a place of truth. I found out that every time I have an opportunity to stand before an audience, to act, to speak, or to do anything, I always have to come from deep down inside of me, so that in the process of conversing or talking or acting before the people that I'm supposed to be acting with, they are supposed to be able to look at me and believe for that moment everything that I'm telling them. They are supposed to be able to look at me and say, this man don't try, he don't really prepare, because he knows say he go see us today, because he knows say he get to act before us today, he don't go practice well, so that when he stand for front of us, he go do what he fit do. And even on a bad day, if I am not doing it well, you will look at me and say, today get how it be, but if you see this man yesterday, probably like this way you see him So you will begin to even make excuses for me when you catch me on a bad day. So the point is this: reduce it all to say, whatever you find yourself doing, it doesn't matter whether you are passionate about it or it is the thing that if you don't do, your life would never be the same again. Always make sure that you give it your best. People say 100%. I call it becoming. I call it becoming. So whatever it is that I have to do, I become that thing. Because in the process of becoming that thing, you can relate with me. So for that moment, you can suspend the fact that my name is Richard Mofe-Damijo, but you are looking at Segun Kadiri. Because at that time in particular, I am somebody else. And for you to be able to suspend your disbelief and think that I'm that person, you have to see that person inside of me. Now, if you are the one called Iyasikira, your work is to sell amala, right? And gbege or whatever. Every time that I come to your shop to buy your food, it cannot be less than what it was yesterday. If for 41 years there is a woman in Abeokuta who sells amala, Even when the woman is not around and her children are there. Because, like the MD of Sterling Bank said, they have built a system, they have built a business. There is a formula to that woman's amala, to that woman's beggary, so that every time you taste of it, it reminds you of the first time that you tasted it, and something will keep bringing you there. If your job is to fry akara, it has to be that your akara must have something that will always make people say that if you chop that woman akara, na final. So it is that individuality, it is that thing that the woman does, coming from the only truth that she knows, coming from that place of where this akara, my life depends on it. This is what I use to sustain my life. This is what I use to draw people to me. This is what I have been known or have become known as. So when anybody asks you next time, how do you stay relevant in whatever it is that you do, or how people can stay relevant, tell them that the first thing you must do is that you must come from a place of truth. And so that people can see your truth always. So in doing that, you are serving. You are serving your people wholeheartedly, totally. If leadership at every point, and when I say leadership, I don't mean just government. If every one of us who is in a position of leadership does that always, you will find that it conforms with the principle of loving your neighbor as yourself. You will find that it conforms with when you find the work of your hand, God will bless it. You will find that it conforms with all the principles of life that teaches you how to become. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my friends, this morning I just want to say to you that above all else, when you find your truth becomes the thing that lasts. Your truth becomes how you serve the people. And your truth becomes what the people say about you even long after you have gone, because your truth will always remain no matter what happens. Thank you, and God bless you.